Reality, where I cover reality TV from a mental health perspective. So, I know this is going to be a randomly placed live because it's before the episode, and I actually meant to open this up right after I listened to this conversation, but I was really heavy into doing some things to prepare for my trip. So I didn't get a chance to jump into this, but this is non Big Brother related. It is Big Brother related because they were talking about it in the house, but it was not gameplay related per se. So it's essentially a water cooler. I titled it that initially, but it's all good. I put the description in the title, so when people get on here, they'll know what it is. And so there was a conversation taking place between MJ, between Cam, and between Chelsea. And I believe that Kimo and Rubina were also in the conversation. I don't know if they were there at that particular point, but it's a conversation they've been having over the last several days, or the last few days, where they've been just ranking how much people were going to get more notoriety from, people looking to date them, or interested in meeting them or getting to know them and stuff like that. And I've heard this conversation happening plenty of times. I heard Kimo and Rubina talking about this amongst themselves, and they were kind of saying, I can't envision meeting somebody for real from a fan event. And I get that. From having been to so many fan events now, there's not too many fans. Like, I would say someone like me, if I was looking to get with a house guest, let's say, a me prototype would be more ideal, because I'm not looking at them like, oh my god, I gotta get with this person. Like, I'm just here so that I can see them and shoot my shot. I shoot my shot from a business perspective. I have never shot my shot in any other kind of way at any house guest, anyone from any show. I have never done that. But some people come there exclusively for that, so I can understand that. But the reason why I was making this video was because they offended Cam, meaning MJ and Chelsea. They seem to have kind of offended Cam because they were telling Cam that he was higher up on the list. They placed him fifth. They put other people above him. But they said that he would be the fifth most likely to be responsive to, like, DM attention that he was getting, that he will get outside of the house. So he said he would argue that he would be less likely to be super responsive to that because of the fact that he's already had the attention, he already has the followers, and he already has people DMing him. And he makes a claim that men are more of the aggressor than females. And you know what? I know that this is going to be an unpopular opinion for me to say, because the demographics on my page are always like heavily weighted towards the females, like at least a 70 to 30 ratio whenever I look at my page demographics. So I know it's not going to be popular for me to say this, but I agree, because I feel like women tend to feel like a guy just walks outside their house and women are like, you fine, or your DMs are just going to be filled up. If you're like some kind of public figure, your DMs are just going to be filled up with a bunch of people shooting their shot. It really does not happen like that. They might have that in girl talk. They might say that amongst each other, but women have the tendency to not want to look thirsty. Not all women. I mean, there's exceptions to every rule. But I'm saying a lot of women have the tendency to not want to look thirsty, like I'm throwing myself at you. So they will talk to you. Hey, Marshall. So they will talk to you. They'll make their presence known. They'll talk to you kind of casually, but they're not like, you fine, I want you. Whereas I know that a woman's DM can get crazy. Like, I feel like unless you're an usher or like an international sex symbol or something, you pick your average Joe and your average Jane that comes off of the Big Brother house, and at least internet and DM wise, Jane might have crazier emails than Joe, factually. But I do see the other side of the coin where women are less easily impressed, I almost want to say, than a man, where it's not just going to be any comment that's going to make them just respond to everything and, oh, I'm going to give this person a chance or let this one shoot their shot. It would probably have to be something more on an intellectual level or an emotional level. But Cam was telling them that he has never met somebody based on them DMing him. Now, do I believe that? I kind of feel like he said that for the sake of that particular argument that they were having, and he didn't want them to have the upper hand in the argument. That's my personal feeling. Because I'm not saying that it's impossible, but I know that I haven't looked at his social media in a minute. But when I first checked it out, this was early when the Big Brother season just started. He had about, I think, 600,000 followers on Instagram. So, and I know that several of those followers are probably women. And I know that just by sheer volume, plenty of those women probably shot their shot. And I don't know, I don't know how he responded to that, but I don't see him saying no to every single one. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, but I could tell you though, as somebody who has been in some small ways, like a small public figure, I'm not trying to say that my pages or anything have been any kind of enormously popular, and I've had huge issues with that. But yeah, some people do that, and the more popular you are, is the more attractive some people find you to be. Sometimes it's not even about your looks. It's like, this person has a following, so I want to attach myself to them because of that. Hi, Colleen. So I guess I felt both sides in that particular discussion, but obviously as a man, I felt his side, a little more than their side, because it's not always like that. It's not like every man that has a social media following or gets attention on social media is looking to meet up with people on social media, because to me, sometimes those hit ups that you get on social media are not really any kind of impressive. It's just like, you are a dime a dozen. What do you present to me that actually makes you stand out more than the other 400,000? I don't know, not 400,000, but the other several DMs that I get. 1 second, y'all. Getting my gas. No. Interesting, Alan the arsonist. Thanks, Ed, if that was you. Hi. Can I get 15 on 3? Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So Alan. You welcomed him and then he immediately let you down. Sorry, Alan. I don't do that. And even if I did, I'm getting gas so I don't have to do it tomorrow. That's where I'm at. Because my gas is low and I actually want to be responsible today, so I'm going to give it a little gas so that in the AM when I wake up, I don't have to run to the gas station before I visit my first client. Where was I? Yeah, I just feel like maybe this is just from my own perspective, but in life, I've never had women throw themselves at me like that. Not by DM and not in real life, you know? They've expressed interest, but oh, that update was rude. Like, I just got a phone update notification and it just paused my live. Okay. I'm only working 2 days this upcoming week. I'm out. I'm out this country. I can't wait. And then everybody's problems that are my fault are just not gonna exist to me for about a week. Your problem. That's your fault. Yeah, like the most forward that I can think of. Let me see. It wasn't even forward. It was just somebody who was beating around the bush. They told me that they like my photography content and they like my videography content. And this is over a course of months. This is over a course of months that they told me this. And then maybe like months later, it was like, maybe we could meet at Starbucks. And honestly, I was like, meet at Starbucks for what? Because I was not interested in trying to get with this person. So it's like, oh, meet at Starbucks to get to know you. And even that was like, it took months for that to even happen. I'm sure that people's DMs, I'm sure that women's DMs are more, are like, hey, beautiful, hey, gorgeous. Like, I bet you it's right to the point. It'll be rare to get a man who's just passively pursuing you, and then they'll probably feel like those comments are gonna get lost in the sauce anyways. Hi, Patty. Tammy, if I didn't say that already. Lisa. Yeah, so I understood why he was annoyed by that, because I would probably kind of be annoyed by it too. Because they're basically calling him just like a jock or a meathead, or, you know, somebody who's controlled by his sexual needs versus having substance. You know, Zinbot said that to him. The other part of it is, I know why Chelsea specifically would say that. I feel like Chelsea finds a lot of subliminal ways to call this man out. So I'm not saying that Chelsea is perfect. When I defend Chelsea, I'm not saying she's perfect by any means. That's one of her vices that I don't like. The fact that she'll have a gripe and she'll have something to say, and she'll find game discussions, or she'll find somewhat unrelated things as ways to discuss that without specifically being like, Cam, I feel this way about you because of what I've analyzed about your background, about your life story, and then the things that I've seen you do in this house, which make me think that you're not ready to be husband material. Like, I feel like there's always a little more spice in those conversations between Chelsea and Cam than what is let on. Because I feel like if MJ was having that same conversation with him, he might be a little bit bothered by that. But I think that there's more behind it when Chelsea is saying it, and then she's doing it in a group setting, which he might think is embarrassing him. I think like in a one-on-one setting where she's asking him these same things, it might bother him, but it would probably feel less for him like she's trying to show me up in front of the house. That might not even be her intent, but it's nighttime. I'm not in the West Coast, so it's actually about 9 o'clock, almost 9 o'clock at night Eastern time. The sun goes down, what, 7-ish, I think, where I'm at. But yeah, it's New York City. It's New York City and it's nighttime, so it's dark at this time. MJ needs to leave Chelsea in the dust or she loses. An interesting perspective or an interesting thought is, does she win if she takes Chelsea out? I know people are calling that a foregone conclusion, but in her case, I am wondering if the jury management aspect might come into play. That's the only thing. Because if Chelsea's not in there, right? I think if she sat next to Chelsea, she would have Leah's votes. She would have Angela's vote. She would have possibly... I think that she would possibly have Quinn's vote. I think T-Core might go in the direction of... Chelsea. Hold on a minute. That's why I stopped talking. Because I had to make a second stop. Cam. Chelsea said something that I agree with. She was like, the only way I could see him winning is in the last two. He does like HOH veto in the last two in some order, like veto and HOH or HOH veto for the last two comps, and then takes out one of them. That would be the only resume move that I feel like would set him up for any potential for that. Pineapple, citrus. Who do I want to win? Chelsea. Steve Moses. Can I put in my reward? Oh, shoot. I'm coming right back. Now, I left for my wallet and it was in my pocket. Beautiful. Working at the car wash. I've had everything. I've had a goatee. I've had my beard lined up to where it's just a line. I've had no beard hair. Cut it off. This is what it's gonna be probably for the rest of my life. Unless I go through like a midlife crisis or something and want to do some drastic change. When it comes to me, like, you missed the era where I changed my styles all the time, my hairstyles. I'm in one pocket, and I've stayed there for years, and it's probably going to be there for years. I do not care. No, Patty, unless you paid me for that. If you asked me to do it, no. If you were like, hey, I would just really like if you trimmed your beard, I would be like, no. But if you were like, I'm raising a fund, and you give me, and we're gonna raise like $500 to influence you to trim your beard, I'd be like, sure. That can help me pay a bill. Aside from that, my style is my style. It is not going to change. It is going to change at some point in my life, but right now I'm at a stage of I don't have a desire to make a lot of changes. Things are just, I'm comfortable with how things are at this stage. If you had got me last year, that was more of a time. Like, I didn't even have this hair that I have grown this year. Last year I was rocking a really, really low, almost bald haircut, and I haven't cut my hair in several months, even though it doesn't grow like it used to. What's up, Chocolate? I'm gonna have that soundbite queued up by tonight, by the way. It's just because I'm not home. Shout out to my dogs at the crib. I'm gonna have that soundbite queued up. It's a shame that I'm only going to be able to use it for like 2 weeks and change, but I guess it's better late than never. Woof, woof. Hey to all the mods and co-workers. What time do we got? So we have about an hour and a half till tonight's episode. So when tonight's episode rolls around, we are going to see how the Tiny HOH played out. I'm specifically going to be watching. Hi, Palaver, if I didn't say that. 10:30 would be 9:30 Central Time. But what I am not sure about is I saw something that said it depends on what time zone and region that you're in. Based on whatever sports, football maybe, that you have going on. So I know that for me, when I looked at my schedule in New York, it's 10:30. So I can't guarantee what time yours is going to be on, but hopefully it's about the same time, because it's late anyways. It's late as it is. Or it could be that some people's are on earlier than mine. I don't know. That's happened before too. Like, I've had some Jets game or something, or Giants game on, to where it comes on later for me than it does for other areas. This is what I said earlier. I'm like, Big Brother, if they started the same time they used to, which was like late June, early July, then we would not run into the problem of conflicting with football games. But because they've turned their summer show into end of summer, beginning of fall show, now for the last, what, 2 seasons? About 2 seasons now, we've been getting this end in like October thing. I think last season we even ended, what, November? So that's where it's at. Okay. We have arrived. Okay. Chocolate, where have you been that you have not met Palaver Girl? You know what? You probably didn't notice her because she didn't have the wrench. We clocked in tonight. And you also weren't here the day when I jumped on here and like 87 people jumped on randomly from the algorithm. And it was just Cass here. And I gave wrenches to Palaver Girl and Marshall, who I know from Big Brother Bry's channel. And shout out to Big Brother Bry. Palaver, if you have that link, because I know you have that link somewhere, you can go ahead and drop that link to his channel on the live. Just wanted to say hi to everyone. Hope you're doing well. Asking for prayers. Oh no. I'm so sorry to hear that, Patty. Going to deal with chemo and radiation mid-October. Send some love for Patty. A prayer, a heart in the chat. That is tough. Por favor, no football, BB only. My TVR is filled with... TV's R is filled with football. Oh no, Patty, prayer for you. Sending all positive thoughts. So sorry, Patty, you got this fight. Prayers for you. Yeah, thank you for throwing that in there. Please hit like, everyone. Thank you. Bye. Patty is good people, everybody. I'm definitely going to have to throw something in my community page for her later. Yeah, so today we're going to see Tiny HOH. But yeah, my point when I started this, I think I made it pretty well. I would love to know what people think in the comments. Like, do men and women get approached differently in DMs? I feel like yes. I mean, obviously I've never received a woman's DMs, but I've been told and shown some DMs that people that I know have received from men or from people, I guess. And they look nothing like my DMs. I don't get people that are just pushing up on me. I'm just going to run with it. I also see why Chelsea would say that, because she feels like he has not been doing that in the house, but the house is not a good representation. You can't just be like, this happened in the house, plus you have X amount of followers, so that means that this is just what you're prone to do. Yeah, thank you for that, Palaver. Please follow Big Brother Bry. 6-year survivor. Thank God for that, Tammy. Tammy is another good one. Okay, y'all. I know this is a pretty short one. But like I said earlier, if I can stay awake long enough to do this live at after 11:30 Eastern when the episode ends, I will. If not, I'll be back tomorrow as we will have a power veto ceremony to talk about. Wednesday's my birthday, so I want to squeeze in a time to do like a birthday live like I've done the last 2 years. So I'm gonna try to make that happen. I'm not gonna be on a time crunch though, because I'm leaving the next day early in the AM. But I'm gonna try. Actually, I think one year I did it the day before my birthday, so possibly that might be a better idea. September 30th, I might start it late. I know that some people will miss it because of when I start it, but I might start it late on Monday and carry that into my birthday when it starts on Tuesday morning, and that will make things easier for me instead of trying to squeeze in a live on the day and it's episode day and stuff like that. So that's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. Oh, I was watching this TV show on Peacock, and it was called Money Heist, and they had this 70s phrase that's like, everything is everything. I love that phrase. I guess that's like it is what it is of today's era. Everything is everything. Talk to y'all later, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell to get notified of when I drop some more great content, and I will talk to y'all soon.